I've ever seen, but it's good news because it means we had incredible speakers and a lot of people that wanted to engage and be a part of this. So we're kind of transitioning a little bit. So you just kind of went through what I would consider World Logic Day logic talks, right? So you heard from thought leaders all over the world in different sectors. You heard from impact investors. You heard from social entrepreneurs. You heard from city council, CEC members. You heard from UN policy members. You heard from advocates. You heard from nonprofit leaders. You heard from next-gen TikTok influencers. You heard from institutional investors that actually care about purpose. My point is, you've heard a lot. So we're gonna pause. I know we did this at the beginning, but I want everyone to take a deep breath, close your eyes, get grounded in where you are. Now imagine that everything that you could need to make your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, the world you want to see is in this room. Who have you heard that you can help? Who have you heard that you might be able to make an introduction? What idea have maybe you not thought about wanting to start? What student do you potentially want to mentor? What, if you're a next-gen board, do you want to serve on? What knowledge can you share, and what do you want your legacy to be? So this brings me to purpose. We are so grateful for Truist Bank to be one of our major sponsors of this conference, not only because, yes, Truist Bank is wonderful, but also because of the team members and the people like Will Matthews and Steve and Karen that I've had the pleasure to get to know in a variety of different ways, including Bill from Nexus, over the course of several years. They embody what it means to give to others and to live what you preach. So here we are at the UN Global Showcase Awards, meaning everyone that you will see this evening is a part of the UN World Logic Day and will be honored for their work amongst the UN in Sustainable Development Goals. We're very excited, and I hope you think about what purpose means to you. So with that, I'm going to play a little video. We're going to announce the official winners of the Purpose Awards, but then you're actually going to get to hear from them. As you've seen today, we've mixed intergenerational, we've mixed investor, funder, and entrepreneur. We've mixed next gen with older generations, and you're going to see that on this stage. I hope more conferences are like this one, where I admire all of the people in this room, and for the most part have gotten to know each of you, and I'm so excited for what we're going to do together. Ooh, fun fact. I need Chris Fronda and or someone that knows technology to the stage. Thanks. How do I press play? Go to initial Canva, it works. If you go in actual Canva, and then click it, and then click it. Okay, here we go. Okay, I've got one more. Ooh, I might need you handy. Yeah. I was doing really well up until the videos. Yep. Okay, so right before you hit play, we're so thrilled to announce the official Truest Purpose Award winners are Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneurship Leadership Institute and Wield.
As a female entrepreneur and a CEO of a billion-dollar fashion brand, I have a strong perspective on what it means to be a leader. Together with the University of Texas, we've created a program focused on redefining leadership and entrepreneurship through a gender-enlightened lens. With this institute, we want to create a pipeline of courageous, creative female leaders that will shatter stereotypes of what an entrepreneur should look like, leaders that will challenge the rule books that have governed the business world for generations.
The Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute, born in 2019 from Kendra's vision, has both responded to and stimulated this interest. And our students across all kinds of backgrounds and disciplines have enthusiastically embraced this concept.
The Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute is an interdisciplinary community of students all focused on the same mission.
This is a partnership across UT Austin, 5 colleges actively involved.
KSLA sponsors courses across different disciplines. So students are learning real world beside professors like Kendra Scott and Jan Ryan, what it means to be an entrepreneur and really redefining what that looks like.
For entrepreneurs in particular, experiential learning is critical. So we introduce our students to founders that come from our alumni base, community supporters, and the eager venture capitalists that are wanting to support new ideas into the marketplace.
The co-curricular aspect of the KSLE really allows students from any major, from any year, to come together and form a community and have these leadership opportunities beside each other to be for students, by students.
There's all sorts of ways that the community is brought to life, and I would say above everything else, it's knowing that there's this supportive community that wants to raise up women leaders and entrepreneurship in whatever way that might look like, and I think that's incredible.
Here at KSLA, representation is so important to us, so we believe that if you can see her, you can be her.
It's not only the programming and the opportunities, it's also the community and the space and having that team that can help you connect to other people or support you.
The alumni network is amazing. They can help them with, thinking about what classes to take, internships, but also what does post-graduation look like. So are they considering going on to a graduate program? Are they considering starting a business, joining a company? They can help with all of those different really important transition conversations with that voice of someone who has seen it, been there, done that, and wants to help.
For me specifically, transitioning from college to corporate America had been a difficult period of time, and KSLE has been a great community. It has become a family of leaders who have the same vision and passion.
I transferred to UT after my freshman year, and I was really looking for a community of like-minded people, but people that would also be able to push me and open my eyes and mind up to other things.
Everybody is at their own developmental stage, and you get to be alongside them and grow as a community, to come together, lead each other, grow with each other.
Through the resources, events, and marketing here at KSLE, we're able to support these incredible founders and connect them to you and our KSLE community. In the first 2 years, the Founder Program has supported 52 founders across 32 startups.
In its first 2 years, the impact of the KSLE has been really focused on empowering this next generation. We really believe that if students can see other founders that look like themselves and build healthy, inclusive community with strong sense of belonging, then that's really the magic of what we're trying to do here.
I'm so excited to see what continues to happen with the KSLE. In just a few short years, I've seen a tremendous impact, and the difference that entrepreneurship has made for me, as well as mentorship, specifically from other women leaders throughout my career, both educational and professional. I know how profoundly that can impact my own trajectory, and I know that there are others who are ready to receive that and ready to run with it.
As entrepreneurship explodes, UT Austin is committed to expanding entrepreneurship support for our women students in particular. And for that reason, KS Welly is an important force for women at the University of Texas at Austin.
The KS Welly, empowering women to lead, encouraging the world to follow.
Okay. So while Chris is going to help me with some tech stuff, we're very, very excited to welcome Steve with Truist to present these awards. I've gotten to know Steve. He actually reached out to Will to try and get to know me. And my first lunch, he asked, Chelsea, what can I better do to help support the Austin community? What can I better do to help young leaders and next gens like you? And so getting to work together and see what the Truist team has done to support us, we couldn't be more grateful, and we think they've lived their purpose well. So I'm going to welcome Steve to the stage.
Is this one on? Okay, perfect. Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great afternoon so far. It's been an awesome day. I was not expecting this. So I got to sit out here and watch all of the other panelists speak, and their titles were about a tenth of the size there. So I'm going to go quickly so that thing gets off the screen. I'll say this, it's been an absolute pleasure to get to sponsor this event. We played a very, very small role in it, but I will tell you the real heroes today are Chris and Chelsea, so can we give them a round of applause? We're coming to the end of the day here, so I know that they'll get a couple of more thank yous, but allow me to do this. We're going to have a chance to hear from some panelists around this concept of purpose, but before we do that, we get to give out a couple of awards about purpose. And the reason it's important to us is it's really important to the bank at Truist. Our singular purpose is to inspire and build better lives and communities. And I would venture to guess that if you're sitting out here, you've got your own personal purpose. Maybe you haven't written it down, maybe you haven't said it in the mirror, maybe you haven't said it to somebody else, but we're all here because we live a life of purpose. And we might be here for World Logic Day, and the term logic and the term purpose may not necessarily be synonymous with each other, but I think there are some really interesting parallels between the two. Think back to the panel sessions, I think back to everybody that sat up here was passionate about what they were talking about, what they were discussing, and it's because of the purpose that they have. So really excited to recognize two organizations. Our first Purpose Award is for WIELD, the Women's Initiative on Entrepreneurship and Leadership Development. WIELD Texas is a 2-year immersive program which takes women at the University of Texas at Austin from diverse backgrounds and trains them in entrepreneurship and executive leadership. In these courses, they work with a team to launch companies and create social impact, all while discovering their true, authentic voice as a leader and addressing systemic issues in their community and world. Paired with executive mentors, seed funding, individualized coaching, and educational trips, these women flourish as our future leaders of tomorrow. So representing WIELD, we've got Ruben Cantu, the Executive Director at the Office of Inclusion, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship, and Annika Chokavatia, a student at WIELD. All right, and our second Truist Purpose Award is the Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute at the University of Texas, also known as KS Welly, as you just heard. KS Welly will strengthen the next generation of courageous, creative young women leaders who will change the world in business and beyond. Founded in the fall of 2019, KS Welly empowers students through entrepreneurial leadership to embark on a journey to discover their personal values, strengths, and their authentic leadership styles in a diverse and inclusive community that creates connections that redefine leadership and entrepreneurship through creativity and innovation. Through the curricular and co-curricular initiatives of KS Welly, students are equipped to challenge the barriers women may face in order to grow the number of women-owned businesses and women-led businesses. And representing KS Welly is Sheena Wild and Leslie Robinson. And finally, I will introduce my good friend and colleague, Will Matthews, who is going to lead a discussion around purpose. And all of these panelists, I think, have very unique stories about how they've infiltrated both purpose and passion in their life and ultimately found a way to be very, very successful in their own field. So, Will, I will turn it to you.
Sup? I don't want to sit on my phone, so I'm going to put it on the floor. Is that all right, guys? Oh, come on, guys. Wake up. Y'all good? We good? All right. So, we don't have that long, but we're going to do something important, right? We're going to talk about purpose. And purpose is that thing that's inside of you, that thing that kind of goes, hey, do something with your life. And it's that thing that kind of propels you and makes you move forward. And it's that thing that makes you feel hungry to go out and change the environment that you live in, to live in a place that you've created that has room for everyone. And so we've got some incredible purpose leaders here, and I'm so excited. So, Ruben, I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you.
I'm so excited, Ruben.
I'm really excited too.
But here, let's jump right in, and we're going to go right for the meat. How do you live a life of purpose? We were talking backstage, and you got a lot of incredible things that you've done throughout your life, but what is the thread that pulls that along? What's purpose to you, man?
To me, Eastern philosophy teaches us that when your mind, your body, and your soul are all together, that's the definition of success, of happiness. And I think it's analogous to purpose because when you're living your true, authentic self and you're speaking your authentic truth and you're acting in a way that is truly authentic, that is a reflection of your purpose. And so to me, what we try to do in our program is allow our students not to be forced to be a certain way, but for them to be able to reinvent themselves in a new way that is authentic to themselves.
Give us 10 seconds about what this program is. Let everybody know.
The Women's Initiative for Entrepreneurship and Leadership Development is a 2-year program that is tailored for women of color. We accept everyone. We tailor the conversation in that direction because there's already a gap for women in leadership, but more importantly for women of color and those in the non-binary space in moving into the corporate space, government, nonprofit sector. And if they want to be founders, they want to be entrepreneurs, it's even harder for them to get funded. So we want to make sure that we serve in that gap because I want us to look at our future generation and look at the Fortune 500 and know that women and women of color are equally represented in that space.
That's what I'm talking about. Leslie, we were backstage and we were chatting about what you do, and I of course want you to tell everybody about that. But also, you were helping me see the how you do what you do. So, can you tell us about what you do, and then a couple of nuggets about the how?
Hi, everyone. KSWELI empowers women to lead and encourages the world to follow. And so I've been fortunate to be able to co-create a class that does just that. It's called Entrepreneurial Leadership, and we focus on who you are first and foremost as a founder before you even think about the business. So really focus on your values and your strengths and also your blind spots and really seeing, tactical ways, especially over a semester, 29 classes, how you can take self-assessments, how you can really learn from others in the community about promising practices on ways that they've been able to transform their passion to purpose. And so we teach a Japanese philosophy called Ikigai, and it is the process of finding purpose-driven lives. And it's something that's really important to be able to find that intersection of what you do and what you love and what you're good at. And so we really want students to focus on their strengths, but also understand the power of, the blind spots and how we can lean into entrepreneurial leadership competencies, and especially for women focusing on risk-taking and being more able to take calculated risk and things like that. So it's a journey, and at the end, our students come up with leadership philosophies. And so my personal leadership philosophy, my purpose, is that I empower others, but especially women and students, to find the best path to their own destination. And so for me, I get to do that every day with KSWLE, and so that's really exciting, and I feel like that has been transformational for me to be able to give that as a legacy to students.
That is incredible. It's so cool, like just the how people get there, because I feel like a lot, we get stuck trying to find purpose, to do our life on purpose, and you push for purpose so much that you don't live life.
I'll just say one more thing. It's the moments when you find yourself like, wow, when can I do that again? Moments of flow when time doesn't exist. Pay attention to those and dig into those, but be able to be reflective enough to notice those moments in life.
Love that. Annika, you are a CEO.
Yes.
And what Ruben said, a prodigy.
I don't know about that one.
Tell us about what purpose is for you and your business and how you've brought your purpose into business.
I think that's an interesting question, and I'm going to reframe it a little, if I may.
Yeah, you may.
For me, purpose is more of a guiding principle. So purpose and my existence are really intertwined in a way that I can't step back and identify what is purpose and what isn't, because every action I take, every lived experience, and every new thing I'm learning all blends into purpose. And since the time I was very, very young, I've had one purpose and one goal, and I've strived my whole life to get there. Admittedly not that long, but it's been to shape my community and use innovation to get there. And so that's a really broad goal, and I am still developing as a person. So I think as I iterate, my goals will narrow within that umbrella to get there. But right now, purpose is, as I said, a guiding principle, and then authenticity and finding myself is how I narrow to find a goal for what that purpose manifests as.
So authenticity, so give me a 10-second definition of what that means to you.
Being true to myself, resonating with my values, and trying to bring that into whatever space I'm creating around me and the energies I'm bringing forward, but also just believing in myself and the people around me, in my community, and my capability. So it's really still advocacy and I guess just being true to myself.
Sheena, we were out there and we were just kind of talking about your journey and what you're doing. In fact, you are on the board with a teammate of mine, his Defend the Dream charity. Seems like what you're able to do is grab and create a strategy and give that off. Tell us about how you've been able to do that and where purpose has led you inside of your strategy and how you're building your business.
Sure. So I'll speak to my personal purpose first, and then I'll parlay that into the purpose that I get to serve on behalf of working for Kendra Scott and leading me here to this conversation with the Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute. So my personal purpose is really creating meaningful connections that can make impact. Those can be small or those can be big. I was telling Will earlier, to me, I find purpose in connecting people. If my friend is looking to make the best enchilada recipe, connecting with her friend that can do that. Or if my work is to hear from a father that tragically lost his son in an accident recently and wants to create a foundation in his honor, how can I help connect him to those best resources to get that foundation off the ground, to establish some sort of, an endowment or whatnot? I find purpose in serving people. And so that led me to, a career change that I made wanting to work for a purposely driven organization. And that's when I found Kendra Scott 9 years ago and have really been able to live forth her purpose, which is to create a world where women and youth can live their brightest, healthiest, and most empowered lives. And, our brand exists to put good into the world. So whether that's realized through creating product that makes women beautiful at any different points within their lives, and or if that's creating meaningful programs through our philanthropic work that's really focused on health, wellness, education, and entrepreneurship, that's what I get to do each and every day. And so from a personal fulfillment perspective, I love it, but it's so important too because we really get to make a true impact each and every day. And for me, that's true purpose fulfillment.
So when you said something just a second ago, you were talking about it really fulfills you. Tell us about the feeling that you get when you make that connection that causes change.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a sense of accomplishment. I think it's a sense of just knowing that I'm doing something to make this very complicated world better, even if it's just a small thing of changing someone's lives by giving them a piece of jewelry that they put on for that one moment that they feel beautiful. I think it's just achieving that feeling of joy for me is really, really what I like to feel and see when I'm able to accomplish that.
Now, panelists, I'd like to ask you all this question, and I think that we should spend our time here. And Leslie, I'll let you go first with this one. So if you were sitting in the crowd, the younger you, maybe, I don't know, but the younger you, or what if I were to say, I just don't know what my purpose is. I really like people and I want to do a good job, and I just don't know how to get there. I've got some resources. I've got some other things. I've got time. I don't know. Give me step one.
Well, step one is to take inventory of who you are as a person and what brings you joy, the moments of light. And I think, I'm a very executioner, task-oriented person, and that's through a lot of different assessments that are going to give you data points to find themes and consistencies of what you're good at, what your strengths are. And as I kind of mentioned before, there's actually more of a superpower for me to understand what you're not good at or what some of your blind spots are or where you need to work on, because those are going to give you rooms for improvement and to find others that might be higher in different levels. But I think at the core and a lesson that I learned in my life was that you have to figure out what your values are so that you can align them to your career, to your life, to what it is that you lead with. And when you find the moments of value rub or misalignment, you've got to have an exit strategy, because you can't live in an environment where that rub is happening. And so I think for me, and the class that we teach at UT Austin is really focused on trying on different hats and different assessments to figure out what feels good. And as I said before, it really is taking inventory of the moments of when can I do that again, and losing track of time. And I always say, kind of when your ears perk up like a dog, like what conversations, podcasts, books, people are you naturally drawn to, and really sit with that for a little bit.
So you said a moment of light. Explain the moment of light.
The moment of life is when everything feels in balance, and it's when you do what you love and what you're good at, and you're recognized for that, when all of that is into alignment. And alignment is my word for 2023. That's when you're unstoppable and you have the confidence, and that's when you can go and be the best leader. And also, leadership philosophy for me is you do you, but also I got you, right? So you have to create those safe spaces, that strong sense of belonging where others around you can feel like they are their true authentic self. And then that's equally important, is to create that.
Annika, I'm a friend and I'm sitting across from you and I'm like, I love your purpose. It's so cool. I want to be like you. How do I do it? Give me advice.
Okay, well, the first thing is that I think you already have a purpose. I think everyone has a purpose, and maybe it's just hard to articulate it and find it, but purpose is kind of the narrative of your life. So as she was saying, look back, like what were the big moments that stand out to you, and what gave you that sense of spark, that sense of hunger? What are you chasing, and why are you chasing it? And I think that really helps you start to think about why you're doing what you're doing. It's the why. That's what Ruben always says, is it's the why. Why are you starting a company? Why are you speaking on a panel? Like, what is the underlying meaning of that? And if that is too broad of an idea, maybe just take a step back and enjoy and have fun and improve yourself, because evolutions of like yourself and your purpose are really linked.
So Ruben, the definition of purpose is the why, the reason behind, right? And Annika was just talking about the why. Help us understand the why. How do we find the why in our lives and in our businesses and in our investing?
The why is found through your inspiration. Inspire, speedo, means breath of life. And if you think about it, one of the philosophies I teach in class is that every single person is a genius. And some people will balk and like, whatever. No, everyone is a genius. Your life's purpose is to discover and get to your genius zone. And if we can actually train our students back on that track to get to genius levels to where they were at when they were 5 years old, when they were just playing and having fun without the parents telling them, you can do this, you can't do that, and they started closing in on what possibilities were. We try to program our students out of that so they can discover themselves. And I think, to me, purpose is really about discovering genius and who you truly are when you truly get lost and when you actually get to mind and heart coherence. When the duality of flow moves from just discipline and surrender, and as they cross into each other, you do feel that like aliveness, and you get that mind and heart coherence where you're actually co-creating with the universe. You're starting to move into this ontological design process where you really see that what you've created is now influencing you back. And in a circular motion, you continue to spiral up and discover your true purpose in life, your genius.
You said co-creating.
Yeah.
What? So let's talk about that for a second. Is that?
Annika's
What do you mean?
Annika is creating me right now. What I mean by that is, by her being present, she's further enhancing what the program stands and does. But I created Wield back in the spring of 2020, right? But all the other students have made me a better professor. I'll confess to you right now, I almost lost the program within the first 2 months that I started it because I was teaching it from a drill sergeant standpoint. Y'all are gonna be executives. Y'all are gonna be CEOs. I'm gonna show you how to do it. They're like, what the heck are you doing? They taught me how to drop into my heart, how to actually be present, and how to lead a whole class of women of color and meet them where they're at and have them be inspired to discover their own purpose. It's been the greatest gift. I didn't know it was going to lead me into getting certified into trauma and emotional mastery and understanding how the brain works in neurology. But thank you, Wield, because it helped me become a better person.
And together throughout that process, not only did you grow and create, but the community came together, and you've created something special that you guys were talking about. You guys are here not just for Wield and yourselves, but people who will come behind you and the people who've gone before.
Little did I know that Wield would help inspire a nonprofit that I founded called Community Resilience Trust. See, Community Resilience Trust is a nonprofit that helps address disasters through research and systemic inequity issues. One example was, as we started during the pandemic getting everyone together, we realized that everyone comes from different lived experience, beliefs, political stances, and we had to figure out how to work together because our city was at stake. By me being able to have been trained to be with my students in a very vulnerable space, meeting them at their trauma level, and then encouraging and working through that, I was able to take those skills and build a community on the outside that took people from various backgrounds, prestige to the grassroots, all to collaborate together to really help make an impact in our city.
Sheena, now you've done some incredible things with your company, with Kendra Scott, like you're the VP of philanthropy for all of Kendra Scott. How do I find my purpose? You've got this incredible position, you've done these incredible things, but what are the guiding principles that have drawn you along, and how do I find those for myself?
So I think for me personally, and I put this forth in my work, is I define what are my non-negotiables. As a working mom, I've really been on this growth journey for myself of really making sure that I'm putting forth, my priorities as, a woman in business, but as a working mom. And so it's really been thinking about, okay, as I've gone through this life journey and it's led me to where I am now, like what are my non-negotiables? And Leslie was speaking to this earlier, where you have to kind of sit back and you have to look at, what are your priorities? If you're not getting fulfillment from those priorities at that present moment in life, then you need to take a step back and you need to redefine what's important to you. What are your non-negotiables, and how can I set forth a path that I'm going to be able to do that? And so, I've had to do that with Kendra at Kendra Scott a lot, because we've helped so many, organizations, and it's so great to be able to do that. But at some point, for us to really create the purpose that we want and to create the impact that we want, we really needed to step back and identify who is our consumer, but who is what our customer and our community are looking for us to support and serve. And so part of this non-negotiable process that I mentioned earlier in this prioritization was really defining where and how we wanted to make that impact. And it's where we were really able to hone in on finding our purpose of supporting women and youth. And, I'll take that a step further to kind of talk about how we came to fruition with creating the Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute, which is doing such phenomenal work in supporting women entrepreneurs and giving them the toolbox and the usage of how to use those tools to go on and be successful when they leave the 40 acres and whatnot. But it was really through those experiences that Kendra had of when she was creating her business, and much of us have probably as women experienced in this room, is of getting doors shut in our faces, experiencing imposter syndrome in boardrooms, her credit line being cut off, her being told, no, you will never have a business that focuses on philanthropy and makes money. I guarantee you it won't happen. And you won't have one that sets place in Austin, Texas. You got to live in New York. You got to go do these things. But she didn't take no as an answer, and she used her purpose as her North Star, which was to exist to create good into the world. And so that's something that she's been able to fuel all of this, was to want to create this space and this program that she could ensure that the next generation of future female women leaders weren't going to experience. They were going to feel well equipped. They were going to feel prepared as much as we can prepare them, once they go off in life. But it's that purpose, having that purpose driven behind your organization or you as an individual, that you have to first define and prioritize and understand before you can really move forth and continue to make impact. And that's something that we've been, really focused on at Kendra Scott, and will continue to be an evolving journey.
So if you have, I'm just thinking through something here. If you have people around you who may not be living their purpose, or maybe you don't know, and we're just talking, purpose is our life and it's our whole goal, but as for that guiding star, that thing, how do you live your life and help other people find that guiding star through purpose?
You're asking me again? So again, I think it goes back to prioritization of what's important to you. What gets you out of bed in the morning? We all have to get out of bed in the morning, and if you're getting out of bed in the morning and you're not feeling fulfilled, you're not feeling, happy at the end of the day, why? Let's scrape back. This is a very saturated world where our head is full of got to make breakfast, got to get there, got to drive to this place, got to get this email. And you gotta take off the layers and get back to that center point where you really, again, what's prioritization? What are those non-negotiables? What's going to make me happy and fulfilled in life? And until you can get yourself to that point, you're going to sit into a place of confusion and not really being sure. And I think we all continue to feel that way and to feel confused, because that's what happens. Life experiences get thrown at us, and guess what? We shift our purpose. Our purposes shift. Something happens, something changes. You might think that this is your purpose, but then it might shift based on these life's experiences. And it's something that one of the questions was, what would we tell our younger selves if we could? And that would be me. Life will shift, life will change, pivot, be okay with that, and trust me, you will find it.
Leslie, when everything goes to poop, and you're gung-ho about your purpose, and it feels like it's fallen to the wayside and you kind of lost your way, what does your self-talk look like, and how do you reconnect to your purpose to keep going?
I go to the students, honestly. I think the secret to life and what keeps us young is being surrounded by the youth and having that hope. And so it's those moments of hope, this next generation of creative and courageous leaders, that's where I go on the bad days. And I think, I'm someone who needs new sights, new sounds, new smells, new tastes, new perspective. And I think I need to go and get that perspective. And for me, that's surrounding myself with students. And, I've been in jobs where I was removed from students, and those didn't work out very well. And so I know that about myself. And so when everything, needs reframing, that's where I go. And I wanted to just talk about reframing because we're 3 years into KSWELI, and we have a lot of promising practices, and we really built the Institute to be for students by students. And so we went through an exercise about finding our purpose as KSWELI that was, with our students, and every word carefully selected. But at the end of the day, the purpose of KSWELI and going through that exercise to really get clear, is also helpful because you can reframe back to the mission. So the purpose that the students see for KSWELI is that we create space and resources for leaders, creatives, and founders, and build community that empowers and visionaries to be able to have and embrace entrepreneurial leadership through a woman's perspective. And every single word of that was carefully crafted, and I go back to that purpose, and it has to align with that.
So it's written down, you read it, you go to your students, you hang out with them, you listen, you refresh, and then you hit the ground running and go again.
And then I hit the ground running and go, yeah.
Annika, when things are going all wrong, how do you recenter and hold to your purpose? Tell us what you're thinking.
I really need advice with that one too, but I think I do the opposite. I take a step back and I try to remove myself from everything, and I just kind of observe the world and what's going on. I went through this really hard patch with the consonants right at the beginning, where it was like, I am never going to be able to do something this ambitious and this widespread. I went to my mentors, I went to Ruben, and he was like, okay, then stop and just look at the world and look at the problems and fall in love with the problem, not the solution. And for me, solving things and creating things is lined up with my purpose. And so that was really big for me. I took a step back. I looked at what makes me the most passionate, most hopeful, the most angry, whatever is giving me all of these feelings. And I try to process all of them. I write down, I get into a flow state, and then I try to just pivot and move on. But yeah.
Ruben, I want you to take the same question, but I have seen throughout the years you fight a lot of battles. And sometimes it seems like, not figuratively bloody, but sometimes they can be knocked down, drag out. How do you hold on to your purpose and what's going on? We got about 37 seconds. 35 seconds. Sorry, I hate to interrupt, but
when you really know your authentic self and you're reminded about who you say you are, because you're creating yourself as you speak, and you understand where you've come from, not from a limiting standpoint, but from a place of possibility, then you actually allow that to drive you. And so when you lose yourself, find yourself inside, because it's encoded in your DNA. Thank you.
Well, guys, definitely a mic drop. Thank you guys so much for joining me on stage and talking about purpose. I hope you guys were totally inspired. Thanks, Chelsea, for having us.
I'm going to keep Leslie on stage with me. So I know we've had a little bit of shuffling of folks in and out, but just to kind of understand what's going on, we transitioned into the UN Global Showcase Awards. So as a part of this award program, all of the receivers of these awards represent incredible work in the impact space that are achieving great things towards the Sustainable Development Goals. I've had the pleasure to get to know Leslie a little bit. Most of you that know me, SDG Goal 5 is one of the things I'm most passionate about. And I think this organization caring about women, but also bringing them to the table is really important. So Leslie not only wanted to announce the award that they're going to give, but she has someone that's going to announce that with her.
Thank you. I'm so excited to bring Sydney Key, who is our president-elect for Student Board at KSWELI, to help announce our Empowering Women to Lead Award. But also I just want to take a moment to say, this is cool because we get to give an award to someone who has entered KSLE's life on a global perspective to really lean into the encouraging the world to follow piece of KSLE, but also to have the opportunity to say this woman's name on a stage and know that she's in Indonesia right now watching is so cool. With some of her Women Lab Bootcamp sisters is just, it's a moment for me. So with that, we are so excited to present the Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Award to Wayoti Dharma, who we worked with through the YSEALI program, which is a U.S. State Department program for Young Southeast Asian Leadership Initiative. She was a virtual fellow of KSLE, and during her time with us really took some of the lessons that we teach and empower our students with back to South Sulawesi, Indonesia, to launch the Women Lab Bootcamp amongst 9 universities, 30 young women, to have impact and to show if you can see her, you can be her. And so with that, I wanted to just quickly mention a little bit about the program, but I was able to visit Dharma in Indonesia this past August to launch the program, to meet the women, to see the impact, and to see the legacy of what KSLE is doing on a global scale. And so for me, that is transforming passion to purpose, and this is one of the moments where we get to recognize the work that's beyond the 40 acres, Austin, Texas, and the US on a global scale. So thank you for the platform to do that. So Sydney, I'm going to let you also share remarks from Dharma and key us up.
I think I'm on microphone. Okay. Thank you, Leslie. So as a part of my internship with the KSLE, I've gotten to work directly on projects that include this global piece, encouraging the world to follow. And working with Dharma and Women Lab Bootcamp has been one of these initiatives that I've gotten to work on. So I'm super excited to be sharing more about Women Lab Bootcamp today, and also speaking for Dharma because she could not be here today. We are so excited to have Dharma join us in March on UT Austin's campus for International Women's Month. And so we are here today honoring Dharma and Women Lab Bootcamp because they have been doing so many great things, and they have a program in Indonesia that is helping women, and it is giving women entrepreneurial training and education in order to help these underprivileged women. And so they're doing this in so many different ways, and we are so excited and happy for her. And Women Lab Bootcamp really wants to extend beyond the 30 participants that they have now and hope to inspire 1,200 plus young women in South Sulawesi, Indonesia in the future. So Women Lab Bootcamp is truly empowering women for the nation. And so on that, I'm going to be reading a speech from Dharma that she had prepared. A very good evening to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, what a privilege it is to be with you here all tonight, on site and virtually. I'm incredibly humbled and very overwhelmed with this honor. Thank you, everyone, and a most special thank you to the jury members for recognizing our work in Women Lab Bootcamp, and in collaboration with my mentor and supervisor, Leslie Robinson, founding director of the Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute at UT Austin, and her amazing team throughout the Reciprocal Project Youth Southeast Asia Leadership Initiative, YSEALI, Professional Fellowship Program. Ladies and gentlemen, born and raised in a village in North Toraja, India, I never imagined that I would be able to receive an award from the UN Global Showcase. Thank you for making not only my dream, but also the dream of young women who work with us come true. Having virtual fellowship in KSLE gave me wide opportunity to meet and learn from amazing women, especially women in the KSLE Found Her program. These women, there was 30 women in our cohort, and they came from 9 universities across South Sulawesi, Indonesia, by providing them inclusive training in leadership, entrepreneurship, and technology for 3 months. At the end of the program, these 30 women organized their own meeting to share what they had learned to other 20 young women in their network. I feel emotional to see how they take not only the lead to empower themselves, but other young women. One of the participants, called Lydia, said during the Women Lab Bootcamp, she came to understand more of her self-values, and it became her guide for her decision-making going forward. Thank you very much to the amazing team who are willing to learn and grow together in organizing this program. I would like to recognize Leslie Robinson for her support, energy, guidance, and assistance, and sharing her expertise, and also introducing us to amazing speakers through the KSWLE. Huge thank you to YSEALI alumni, mentors, partners, and sponsors for the endless support. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Okay. So next, I would like to bring up to the stage Ruth Hugh. So we are in a pretty spectacular space. If you haven't noticed, this is the Long Center for the Performing Arts. If you're from Austin, maybe you came here for the Nutcracker or the opera. For me, I actually came to the Long Center when I was helping the opera with grants and got to work a lot with the board members here, and it's such an honor to be in this space. When you have the opportunity to make things happen and give back, it can really make a difference, and the Long Center has certainly done that for us today. So with that, I would love to present the award to the Long Center, and Ruth, you'll say a few words.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chelsea. Thanks to all of you. My name is Ruth Hughes. I'm one of the trustees at the Long Center, and we're so proud to be able to sponsor, to really partner to be able to have World Logic Day 2023 here at the Long Center in this venue. As a point of personal privilege, I personally I work as a partner at Kelly Hart & Hallman, a firm here in Texas, where we provide government relations services and try to help businesses at that intersection of law, politics, and government. And for those of you that aren't familiar, in Texas, we have a legislative session every other year, which started this past Monday. So I can't tell you how particularly grateful I am to be standing here and to be here with all of you at this moment in this particular week. Prior to that, I did serve as the 113th Texas Secretary of State, and I chaired the Texas Workforce Commission. Currently, I'm the chair of the Texas Science Fair. I mention that only to say that the innovation and all of the energy and excitement and the work that's happening that I heard about today is so incredibly inspiring and important. And at every level of government and private and public, we all recognize the need to really invest in our human capital, to look at what are the skills of the future and how do we encourage our youth to find their path, find their purpose, and recognize that they have contributions to make. And so to that, I really applaud all of the presenters. It was great to see so many women in particular, and of course all the men that also support this incredible work. And part of why, with that background, I was so honored to serve as a trustee and to be a part of this wonderful, Long Center board is because here at the Long Center, you're sitting in a place that the genesis of this building even was innovation and reuse. For any of you who took the elevator or who saw the tiles on the outside of the building, they were from the original building. They even have the Hale markings, and we're so proud of that because we've really worked so hard to make sure that the history of this community, of the city, of this building came together in this space of innovation. Austin is a city that really is known for its creativity and for its art. It's at the heart of so many things that here at the Long Center we try to bring together and to really celebrate. Important in that, we look for that diversity in programming. We make sure that it's a place of innovation, creativity, but also incredibly importantly, a place for community and a place that everyone feels they have access to. I know they like to say, we've welcomed presidents and we've hosted quinceañeras. If you were here during the holidays, you saw, of course, we're the home of the ballet, the opera, and the symphony, and we had the Nutcracker, the orchestra presented Elf, and at the same time there was a skating rink. And all of that is incredibly purposeful because we want to bring all of these different factors that really help us to stay globally competitive, to stay really connected to each other, to our community, and we feel that that secret sauce really is in the arts and supporting our musicians, our creators, our innovators, and so many of you in this room are such a big part of that. So thank you, and best of luck in your future endeavors, and thank you for allowing us to partner and to be a part of this with you. As you're exiting, the sun sets to the back, but you'll certainly see an incredible skyline because you are currently positioned in the best view of the city. So enjoy. Thank you.
Truth, you can give it to him. Okay. Here's the fun part where I bring my parents to the stage from the crowd. Come on. Up you come. Okay, Chris, you. Okay, so some of you know this, but right before the pandemic, I had this wild idea that I was going to do a conference, not much dissimilar from this one. And lots of people from all over, they flew in. And I don't know if you know, but there was this thing called COVID. So it was the last conference I threw for a while. And we started our family foundation to really empower the education of philanthropy of young leaders. And we're really proud of the work that we have been able to do. And that conference, and Ruben, who you now have gotten to know, I told Ruben after that and the pandemic and all the work that we did, I said, Ruben, I'm never going to do another conference. There's no way. And he kind of gave me this look like he knew better. If you're one of Ruben's students, I think you will know the look I'm talking about. But a few weeks prior and months prior to this, I said, Ruben, I might need you. I think I'm doing another conference. And he said, of course you are. But I think what's really special is my family and Logic Tree and Chris and Olivia and Nova and all of our partners and all of you have inspired me that I can take control of my purpose. And this is my purpose, to bring you all here together, to really honor who we're going to honor. And so it's my unbelievable pleasure to honor 2 awardees on behalf of the KFG Foundation. The first of which, that he actually spoke at the keynote of the conference when I call it prior to the world shut down, and his name is Jim Epstein. I asked him, who is doing incredible work? Who is doing the best work that you've seen in all of your years of philanthropy in the UN SDGs? And he said, Melinda Kramer. He knew very instantly, Women Earth Alliance. So we honor Melinda Kramer, and we honor Sarah Trubridge, Brittany, and their entire team. They actually launched their philanthropic foundation just on January 4th to help bring in the new humanity. They're aligned with our values, my family's values. So with that, I would love to bring Melinda to the stage to say a few words, and then the ETNH team as well.
Thank you so much. It's been so great to be here and meet all of you, and so grateful for Jim, who serves as an advisor to us and guide. Women's Earth Alliance began 17 years ago by 30 women from 26 countries who were addressing an urgent resource gap. What we saw was that every environmental issue disproportionately impacted women. Women were laboring on behalf of our communities and our earth and future generations. And women didn't have what we need to address those challenges, to lead. And we really saw that underinvestment as a huge problem. We also saw that despite that, women were stepping forward with innovation and brilliance, and that we needed to bridge that gap. And so 17 years later, that circle of 30 has multiplied. 30 became 30,000, became 300,000, and thousands of women have gone through our capacity building trainings, have received this holistic investment, have been a part of an infrastructure of support, a community of practice, and are bringing the solutions that our communities need. I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, probably shortly after this conference that you had held, that there was a headline in the New York Times that said, I think something like, women are the shock absorbers of the pandemic. And it was this moment of illuminating, this care economy, that women were losing their jobs. They were working overtime to take care of our families, of sick ones, all of the unseen work. And what it had us think about at Women's Earth Alliance was how true that was, and what's also true is that women have been the shock absorbers of the climate crisis. And it is the most important investment we can make if we want to protect this earth. And the cascading benefits that we have seen when we invest in a woman who might not be receiving the big investments. She's at the grassroots level, and she's the one that people call when there's a flood, when there's a crisis, and she needs that investment, and she needs that support. And that's what we're doing every day at Women's Earth Alliance. And we're so excited to see how this work will build. I mean, these women could write the UN SDGs. Every day of their life, they're living those principles and achieving those goals. And so we're illuminating that grid of women's leadership on this planet. And finally, I just want to say, you know, I think about this a lot, that there isn't a shortage of resources. We're not dealing with a resource shortage. We are dealing with a distribution issue, that we have concentrated resources that aren't getting into the hands of people who know what to do with it and are ready to act. And I think that all of us coming together in all of these different sectors, we can figure this out. We can figure this out. We can redistribute the resources on this planet. And I'm just so happy to have received this award, and thank you so much.
Can we get a round to Melinda? And then we recognized a little bit earlier, but they're joining me on stage, Sarah Trubridge and Brittany Flatney. Thank you. I said this earlier, but when we went to dinner and I got to meet them, some of the best advice that I've gotten all weekend is I was like, why are you starting this foundation? Foundations are hard work. And she said, because so many people kept telling me no. And I didn't want the next generation to think that no was the final answer. So thank you all. And we're really proud for KFG to honor the ENTH Foundation and Melinda Kramer with Women's Earth Alliance. Okay. Pride Fund came in strong, you guys. I'm pretty sure we have like maybe their entire leadership team. I'm not sure. But I'm so excited, and it's been so fun to get to know them. So the ENTH Foundation, I got to talk to them before this conference, and they said, we're going to fly out for this. We're really excited. It's great timing. We're launching our philanthropic foundation. And we got off the call. And then I had met Alicia, the Human Rights Commissioner, and who the Pride team calls the governor for Texas. And, I had convinced her to do this conference, and she's like, I think the Pride Fund will really be behind this. I've got some great impact investors and LPs. I think it's the right thing. And 2 days before the conference, Wolf, with Pride Fund, who you will meet, he called me and said, Chelsea, I have some really weird news, but I was talking to another group that was equally excited about a conference, and we've been trying to meet, and we figured out we're actually going to the same conference, and it's yours. So that was really exciting, because what it means for us as Austinites is that this is becoming an innovation hub for impact. This is becoming a hub where people will come to learn how to change the world. It's no longer just New York and LA. Austin's in the rotation, and I'm really excited about that. So I'd like to welcome the Pride Fund to the team, to the stage.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. Thank you so much to everyone who helped put this day together. So I will be brief, because you got to hear from a lot of the rest of our team, and they really are the rock stars. Our Gov Alicia, our CEO Denzel, our Chief Growth Officer Michael, and then our amazing portfolios. Before I give this award, I just want to sincerely thank all of you for sharing your day and your time and your space with us. And that means for the UN, for this room, for Logic Tree, for everybody who has said that we have a space and that we're able to share that. And that really just means the world to us, because not everyone is willing to bring in those who are different from them and those who are doing things in a different way. But we've received nothing but amazing hospitality from the city and from all of you. And especially this event has been incredible. So the Pride Fund is our primary vehicle. We have several other funds which we also operate, all focused on helping different companies, different founders who are underrepresented. And in doing so, it allows us to feather together all of the different intersectionalities of individuals and of folks, because no one is one singular thing. Everybody has different things, whether it's gender or whether it is their race or whether it is how they act or what they're viewing. And all of those parts matter together. And so today we're very excited to honor one group who we met here in Austin about a year ago that brought so many of these different intersections out. They're New Americans. They are very proud members of the LGBTQIA+ community. They are impact-driven. They are focused. And they do all of this, and they also create an amazing product, which I believe many of you are going to get to try here in just a little bit. So it's a great honor of mine to present our award. Gov wrote this, so I want to be exactly right. The Pride Fund honors the Reducing Inequality in Entrepreneurship Award based on SDG 10 to Hans and Luis from Wonder Kids.
Thank you so much. It's truly an honor to receive this coming from you guys. The Pride Fund that since we met you guys, like we clicked immediately. We believe in everything that you guys do. You show us so much support, and to understand a little better what we do, we want to read a little bit of what goes out with every box that we put out there, because we truly believe in our mission, and we are truly wanting to save lives with our product. So this is what goes outside, goes out with every box.
Yeah, and we're reading this because a lot of what we heard today has been about purpose, about finding purpose. And for us, this journey, we came from Guatemala 4 years ago, and this journey has been all about finding the purpose. And looking back, it was always there, but it took us a long time to discover it was really blood, sweat, and tears. So let me read you Wunderkek's mission statement, and hopefully you clarify what we're doing here. We build Wunderkeks from our belief that the foods we share help tell the story of who we are, and that by openly, fearlessly telling our stories, we create the safe spaces others may need to tell theirs. Think of a birthday cake, of going for ice cream on a Sunday afternoon, of baking cookies with grandma. The rituals we've built around sweets are all about unconditional love and acceptance. They all bring us back to when we were very little, when the world was all color and light, and no one had ever made us feel that there was something wrong with us. A few years ago, we left our home country of Guatemala for Austin, Texas, looking for our very own safe space. We found it, and our outlook in life was forever changed. Ever since, we have made it our mission to share the joy we found. Our hope is that you will share this box of cookies, along with your willingness to listen, that this loud, pink box will become, for you and yours, a symbol of allyship and a marker of a safe space. We hope you will join us in building a joyful, creative world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's our turn to give our award. This one is to someone that it has been our fairy godmother in Austin. It's someone that we truly believe that she has been going beyond her actual job, and she has been actively helping out others.
Yep, she has seen us at our worst, and really, well, not at our worst. She didn't see us at our worst. We were at our worst, and she refused to see that.
We insisted.
We insisted.
Yeah.
We insisted. I promise. We cried and everything. But this is someone who opened up to us the doors in Austin in a way that we never thought that it could. When we say this thing that we just read was written not long after we met her, and a lot of it is about how this place became really magical because it really opened a door. And no one has opened the doors and allowed us to feel in community in the way that Tina has.
So the award that we are presenting, it's the Champion of Emerging Entrepreneurship to Tina Cannon, the president of the LGBT Chamber of Commerce of Austin.
All right, it's 6:15. Microphone's
Thank you. These guys make what I do for a living worth it. It's why I get up in the morning, right? It's being able, somebody mentioned on a panel before, it's about connecting others that brings them purpose. That is by far my purpose. I have been that entrepreneur over and over and over, recovering entrepreneur for those in the room, right? You feel me? But it's now my turn to give back, and these guys are so passionate about what they do. Please go out and support entrepreneurs just like them. They put their purpose and their mission out in front, and that's just something that is so special in today's entrepreneurship world. So thank you guys very much, and thank you all very much.
Okay, I know we're trying to get you guys to this VIP after party that Tim and Tan has told me is really quite incredible, but we really want to make sure we're honoring everyone we said that we would. Ooh, so I want to take a second to bring up 2 awardees. We mentioned that Accelerist is one of our sponsors for this entire conference, and I've gotten the pleasure to know Brittany for a while, and she's been a mentor of mine in Impact. And so I'd like to welcome Brittany with Accelerist, who we are honoring UNICEF Next Gen, and then Mike with Energy Link, and we're honoring Victoria LaRose. And if Energy Link wants to say a little bit, but also first, can we give a round of applause for Accelerist for helping us make this happen? Thanks.
My name is Chris, actually. We're honoring Tori today. Energy Link Decarbonization Solutions is fighting the climate tech fight, and we were a vertically integrated fund that from fund management to developer down to service and installations of renewable systems, renewable and energy storage systems. It's a very unique fight that we play. We fight in the middle market, commercial and industrial buildings. And as you can imagine, our competitor is also someone we have to comply with, the utilities. Today we are honoring Tori. She is an engineer that graduated in 2020, a mechanical engineer. And in the last 2 years, she has done amazing things for our company, but what she doesn't realize is the impact that she's going to make on this industry as a whole. She's innovating processes and systems and mechanisms that allow our systems to communicate with the utilities in a friendly manner. And that's a big fight, especially for somebody of your age, and I really want to commend you for your efforts and talent and the way you fight this fight.
Thank you, Chris. It's truly an honor to earn this award and the recognition, especially from all my fellow team members at Energy Link Decarbonization Solutions. I feel very lucky to have found a group of people that truly believe in me and see a lot of potential in me. So, thank you.
I was like, I can speak loud. We are on to our last, but certainly not least, award. So we are going to honor for the UN Global Showcase, and I think predominantly a lot of this front row, the Gaia House, and accepting on the Gaia House's behalf will be Max Louise. And I'm going to play a little video, hopefully. Maybe not. It's all the videos, you know?
We live in a beautiful world. It's fascinating, full of colors. We live in a beautiful world. It's fascinating, full of colors, flavors, sounds, cultures, love, pain, struggle. And yet, most of us never see past this 6-inch screen. This is our reality, a generation of lost young souls, smiling on the surface, but living in constant fear. We are taught to self-obsess. The trending narrative is, you are inadequate, but hey, you can numb the pain by using one of our strategically placed products. Social media, our safe space, has become a tool for corporations to exploit and monetize the deepest insecurities of our youth. And it's left us feeling broken, hopeless, and without purpose. This is why Gaia House was created. We are the world's first nomadic content house for social impact. A growing community of content creators assembling around a shared purpose. We travel the globe finding stories that matter and educate our viewers, then empower them with tools to get directly involved. We support the rehabilitation of communities, the rescue of animals, reforestation of land, education of young children, the cleaning of our oceans, and the providing of basic necessities to poverty-stricken areas. Content creators have a reputation for seeking nothing but vanity and leading superficial, self-serving lives. But there's a reason why billions of youth, an entire 3 generations, relate to us on such a deep level. This is our opportunity to shift culture itself and craft the future we want. Join us. We don't have to watch the world burn from the sidelines. We don't have to wait on anyone else. Join the family, and let's write our story together.
Max.
Hello. Try not to cry right now. Oh my goodness, it's been such a journey. I wanted to start this idea 7 months ago, and it's been a really uphill battle to try and get to this point. But thanks to the creators who had faith in us and a team of amazing people who came together, we were able to pull off our first trip, first of many. And we really dream. Our dream is to turn this tool that right now is used to encourage depression and consumerism and materialism and comparing one another into a tool for change and inspiration and empowering the youth to actually create a beautiful world. So I have some people I want to call to the stage right now, our Gaia House family. If you can please join us, Jennifer Yoshioka, Weston Armstrong, Nicole Nuanez, Megan Nuanez, Ava Kolker, Lexi Kolker, Sandrine Kolker, Samantha Greenberg. And out there in the crowd filming is Victor Nappy. He's also part of our team. Thank you guys so much. And there was a bunch of people who couldn't physically be here, but we wouldn't have been able to do without them. So I'm going to mention their names: Jalen James Acosta, Rachel Carey, Frank Schwartz, Sylvan Schwartz, Joseph Chan, Luke Nappy, Jade Nappy, Sylvia, Ralph Nuanez, Ella Ashcraft, Lisa Ashcraft, Savannah Schultz, Katiana Kay, William James Goodall, Ashley Coopers, Lucia Nunez, Prince Lorenzo de Medici of Italy, Russell Rieger, Jeremy Nechel, and Alexander Logie. So, on behalf of Gaia House, I'm so honored to accept this award. Thank you guys so much. And, we're in the very birth stages of this project. We want to take it really big. So if any one of you guys would like to collaborate with us in any type of way, please come and find any of us and speak with us after this. Thank you. Almost forgot I'm supposed to play a song. Check, check. Perfect, thank you. So this song was birthed in a time when, social media was really, really depressing. It still is, but this is our theme song, and I'll just let the words speak for themselves. Would you rather be happy or famous? You choose. 'Cause we live in a world where you gotta chase, gotta keep up, or you lose. Ooh, baby, it's no wonder our children around the whole world are so confused. Yeah. 'Cause we talk about kindness, but the hatred and the violence get the most views. Just saying, ooh, ooh, ooh. Do I follow? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Knows the way. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There's a lady. Ooh, 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 ooh. I would rather be happy than famous. If I had to choose, keeping it real. And it feels like the less I try to fit in, the more I speak my truth. Hey, yeah. If I ain't talking about money, drugs, cars, or clothes, killing ops or smashing doors, will anybody be listening? I'ma try to be happy and not famous. You should too. Hey, yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Do I follow? Ooh, ooh, ooh. No stuff way. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's lit. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, ooh, ooh, yeah. Ooh, do I follow? Ooh, knows the way. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.
All right, that was an incredible performance. Incredible performance. So, before we move into the last part of the evening, which is going to be the super fun social, hang tight for a minute. You'll be glad that you did. We wanted to just extend a really heartfelt thank you to a handful of different people. So first of all, we want to thank everybody who came, everybody who battled FAA messaging problems from near and far. We have many countries represented here. We also want to thank the Long Center for doing an amazing job. They've been working with us for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to bring all this together. And I think I asked to come on 3 walkthroughs, and Tan came on some walkthroughs, and Chris and Chelsea came on some walkthroughs. It's been a labor of love. And a lot of talent has come together to bring this day to fruition. And certainly none of us would be here unless there was an incredible leader who had incredible vision, a desire to contribute, and make the world a better place. So I think we should all put our hands together for the one and only Chelsea Toller. Come on up.
man, now I have to speak. I got the singing and the kids. Thank you all so much. For once, I am speechless. I did not clearly know this was coming. All I would say is, I've heard it a couple of times, but I watched this movie. I don't even remember the name now. Eat, Pray, Love, or Eat, Love, something. And it was about this woman that had gone through a really, really hard journey to figure out, only to find, like, what word defined who she was. And I realized in the face of a lot of things that a lot of us, I'm sure, have had a lot of loss, a lot of pivots, a lot of change, but my word for this year was courage. And I think everyone in this room, and myself included, embodies what courage is. And I'm so excited for what leadership, and I tell Chris all of the time, it's not a technical leadership theory yet, but I think what he's doing and what we're doing and what you all are doing is disruptive, courageous leadership. So thank you for this.
Incredible work, incredible work. So now this show is ours. The fun police are here, so. So to my right and your left is Tan Pham. To my left and your right is Lizzie Blankadal. And we're going to take you through the evening. And the evening is going to be loaded with a lot of fun. So first and foremost, we have a very cool theme. Come on out. We've put together Tronland for you upstairs. Yeah, Tronland, which is going to be super fun. And if that wasn't fun enough already, we have something called Taste of Austin for you upstairs. You don't even have to leave the venue, which is super, super nice. You can head right on up. Would you like to describe what's happening with Taste of Austin?
Absolutely. So we will have Texas barbecue upstairs from Terry Black. So if you're in Austin, you have to have barbecue. We're also going to have some pizza, because who doesn't love pizza? And we're going to have some oysters and some entertainments as well. So we're going to have plenty of things going on, including a live performance.
Susanna Schaffel, has anybody heard Susanna perform before? So she was actually on The Voice, an incredible talent. She's toured all over the world, a list of accomplishments that's just incredible. She's an Austin local. A lot of the theme that we've been going for is with the world coming to Austin, we wanted to bring Austin to the world, whether it's food, whether it's performances, other local talent. We'll also have a DJ. There's also a photo booth. It's going to be a ton of fun. You can go up upstairs to the Kodosky Lounge and make some great memories, capture that, and remember your time here at UN World Logic Day. Did I get it all? We're good? We're good? All right, so I mean, like, we're starting in 1 minute. Yeah. I mean, certainly you can use the restroom and whatever, but like the fun begins now. To get to the lounge, once you exit, this is called Rollins Theater, you hang a left, and we'll be directing you another left, and there's an elevator that will take us up. We have a step and repeat banner as well, like a little VIP entrance, so if you have someone you'd like to take a picture with, we'll have a pro photographer there as well, ready to go. So let's have some fun. Thank you everybody for coming, and let's go upstairs.